Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 176 of the Backlot 605 podcast. We are here on week number 4 of Bat Month for the month of March. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Casey Kelderman. Joined with me, as always, are my co-hosts Brian Mensing
Hello.
and Samuel Lenz.
What's up? How's it going, guys?
I'm just pointing out that our guest is over here jamming out to the music before you even queued up the music while
That's
we're
right.
waiting in queue.
What a mark! What a mark!
That's right. Well, I'm a big old mark for you guys.
He is a huge mark for us. You know the voice, people. You know what's going on. It's our best friend Charlie Eccles back on the show.
I'm your best friend, Casey.
You're our best friend.
Our
show.
After claiming that I don't have a best friend. After claiming that I don't have a best friend at the Schmuckies.
The idea of this podcast is your best friend. It's even sadder than not having any friends.
The podcast itself is just my best friend. Yeah. Just the audio content is what comforts me.
It's the only people that talk to you, so I feel bad for you, but we're here for
you. There are days that's true, but I don't know. Fuck you.
Hey, Charlie.
I'm using the one.
Charlie already used our F-bomb.
Charlie used it, one and done. Wait till his daughter hears this in 7 years. And
I know.
Dad, you're doing. Why were you doing a podcast with a bunch of losers and then you drop an F-bomb?
As she's like 3 feet away from me right now in her swing too. She's just staring at me like, what is going on?
The question I have for you is what's going on. I laid down a challenge to you. I don't know if you heard it on the podcast a couple weeks ago. And then last week I reiterated it. That you needed to find a partner before our MCU show coming up in May. I'm going to assume your daughter is not going to be playing. I assume she has watched Marvel movies with you already, but she will not be playing.
That's a real strong assumption.
Why doesn't she qualify? She's a body.
Just because she's seen one Marvel movie.
Yeah, why are you showing her just Ant-Man and the Wasp, Charlie? Come on.
Because Ant-Man is small. She is small.
Yes. Okay. So last week you laid it down. You said, not only did you say that I needed to find a partner.
Yes.
But if I did not find a partner, that this would be the last time. This is it. This is the end of the relationship. So in the 11th hour, I have been searching high and low, and I guess we're gonna leave this up to chance for right now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I've got up my sleeve, if I've got anything up my sleeve. Honestly, being a new dad, I do today. But
those are short sleeves. I don't know if you can fit much on there.
Well, they're long. They're real long sleeves. Actually, I rolled them up. See?
Okay, there you go. You might have something in there now. Yeah.
I might. Besides this Fitbit that tells me that I'm fat, and that for whatever reason I can't program to count my steps, but I can program it in how many kilometers I've walked today. Who needs that? But anyway, I did ask. I will say that I'm very excited about today's episode because months and months and months ago, you guys had mentioned about March being your Batman month, and I think I was one of the first people to claim my spot for this month to say that I wanted to be on for the Mask of the Phantasm because of how amazing the Mask of the Phantasm is, and it also being probably one of my top favorite Batman stories, comic books, movies, everything all together. One of my favorite stories that they've done, that DC has put together, obviously with Warner Brothers included in this, but one of my favorite stories within the Batman realm. So I'm very excited to talk about it today.
Yes, I am too. I'm excited. Even if this is your last go around here, what a movie to go out on.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's a great movie, right?
It is. I want to know what Brian and Sam feel about it, but this is. I'm pretty passionate about this one. I think I claimed my spot with this one pretty early. I think a lot of people have their Batman movie, and this is my Batman movie, so I'm very excited about talking about it.
Well, you're in good company, Charlie, because I absolutely adore this movie. This was one of my first introductions to Batman. And to your point, I think this is maybe one of my top 3 Batman stories, going across all the comics and all the movies and the TV series and all that. Like, this is, I don't know, this one just hits on a different level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's very nostalgic, you know.
You want to talk about nostalgia? I'm pretty sure the last time I saw this is when I did see this in the theaters. You know, and it had been a hot minute and whatnot. I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily say it's probably my favorite or one of the ones that are my go-tos for a Batman, but I think for the story and everything like that, it is super solid. And like, to use the animated series animation for this movie and whatnot, like, there's aspects of this movie I don't think would play very well in a live action anyway. So I think having it as an animated movie, I think it was the right choice for this story in the first place.
Yeah, and I think for me, again, kind of like everybody here, it's a nostalgic movie. I hadn't watched this. I looked on Letterboxd. The last time I watched it was March of last year, and I hadn't seen it in probably 20 years since then. So I've watched it twice now in the last year, and it's like this movie gets better with age. It's like a fine wine for Batman movies. It gets better with age. Kind of like Batman Forever.
And Batman and Robin.
All you nerds out there who don't like Batman Forever. But Batman Mask of the Phantasm is one of those movies that I think a lot of people go back to and are like, yeah, this is the best Batman movie. And I think it's because of, one, this movie's just incredible. It's an incredible movie, period, regardless of animation, Batman being the main character. None of that matters. It's just a great movie. But 2, it's also released during the height of the animated series. I think it came out like in between the first and second season, or second and third season, something like that.
Was it? Yeah, I don't know what the timeline looks like. I remember the year was 93, but that's all I remember. Yep.
Yeah, and the
God,
series started
year.
in 92. It's okay. The next year's better.
94 is much better.
It is much better.
I disagree.
Jokes about the years we were born, people. These are what we're talking about here.
I'm just talking about actual legit movies over here, because, you know,
this is a legit movie.
I forget you guys are little babies and you're talking about years you're born, not, you know.
All right, everybody drink. Brian mentioned his age.
I didn't mention my age. I just called them babies.
Well, you might as well have.
Get off my lawn.
We like I said last year, last week during Batman Forever, like, this is because we kind of touched on like the type of kids content that was out during this time. Maybe it was on the Sub-Zero episode. It might have been on that on Patreon. Go check it out if you haven't subscribed yet, Marks. But we talked. You guys
are gonna also. I'm gonna just give everybody a warning who is watching on video. My wife is sick right now, so I'm also comforting my baby. So if I make weird faces, I'm not talking to Sam. I'm not just whispering in Sam's ear.
Sam, please respond.
I thought that's what
Sam
was going on here, Charlie.
Sam would wish that you were whispering sweet nothings.
Hi, honey. Hi, honey.
You need to respond now, Sam.
Yes.
Hey, baby.
He doesn't know which way to look, do you?
I don't. I'm just going to keep looking forward.
But like this type of content, like we talked about, that came out in this early to mid 90s is really revolutionary, and something like we haven't really seen since then. Because like I said, with Gargoyles and even DuckTales that came out, Batman the Animated Series, Spider-Man, X-Men, like, they had an edge to them, and this movie here kind of epitomizes that edge that this movie has, because this is more of an adult story than many Batman movies deal with. In my opinion, it's, of all the Batman, theatrical releases, it's the best Batman story of all of them, where Bruce Wayne actually is the main character of this and gets a full, complete character arc. And something I noticed watching it again this time is how many times Batman cries in this movie. And I can't think of another movie where he's crying at all.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of that early age Bruce Wayne in this, where he's willing to show a little bit more emotion, but then you kind of see that, and I'm sure we'll touch on this, but I think that the best Batman stories of all the Batman stories, if you're talking comic book, if you're talking movies, are the ones that have a real tragedy to them. And this is, I don't think that any movie in the Batman realm has a more well played out yes, honey, yes, we're talking about our favorite comic book. But I think the tragic element of it, of him starting off as Batman, then not having, and then having a plan, then a wrench gets thrown in that plan, and he wants to change the plan, and then he can't. So I think that's there's a lot of adult content like you're talking about, in where you're dealing with a lot of that sadness that you don't get in a lot of animation these days. You're getting a lot more adult themes, a lot more emotion within it. So, and you're dealing with like real thespian style actors with like Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy. Now I'm blanking on the woman who plays Andrea in this, but she was also the woman who played Lois Lane in the Superman movies, or the Superman animated series. Great voice actress. So
Dana Delaney.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on something you just brought up, because I think it's something a lot of Batman movies just don't want to, is his humanity, and how people can connect to that humanity. In that, yeah, we get it. His parents got shot. That's sad, and he becomes angsty. I'm vengeance Batman. Every version of Batman does that. It's his origin story. There's not much you can do with that anymore. What this movie does is, like you said, Charlie, throws a wrench in that, the wrench was thrown in when his parents died of his whole life. Another wrench is thrown into his plans of vengeance when Andrea Beaumont comes into his life. And then when she leaves, she takes away that power again from him and takes the wrench out of his plans. And I don't know. It's really interesting what they can do with Batman at that point. And then when she comes back into the story, I think the movie does a good balance of going back and forth between times as well, where it can get hokey as a storytelling device. But this movie does a really good job of telling those flashbacks and how they relate to what's happening in the actual story of the movie.
Yep. Well, and you get a glimpse of Bruce Wayne being happy for the first time, and then it gets ripped away from him. Like Kevin Conroy talks about this a lot, but I want to echo what he says in this, is that one of the best scenes is two I want to talk about is that he's just pleading with his own parents at their grave. This isn't what I planned, and just you really feel for him in that moment, and he's pleading and asking to let him change the plan. And then when he finally says, screw it, I'm making my own plan, proposes to her, as soon as he does that, the slew of bats come out of the cave. And it just that symbolism of this is what you're supposed to be doing. I don't know. It's just this beautiful storytelling from the Batman end of things.
Yeah. It's interesting. I feel like this movie and the Batman are very similar in theme and what they're trying to accomplish with Batman. I love the fact that both of these movies don't shy away from the darkness, but they give him something to strive for, something where he's not. Bruce Wayne is determined to be the Bat. He's determined to stick to this plan. And then, have you seen the new one yet, Charlie? I won't go into too many details.
Yes, I have. Yep, I saw it. Yep.
Okay, good. Yep. So yeah, I mean, I just think what they do with Zoe Kravitz Catwoman is very similar to what they do with Andrea Beaumont in this.
I got this wood burning back there. I didn't even notice that. I'm sorry. I'm sitting over here just showing off my Batman art.
Nice. Yeah, and I don't know. I think that the world building of Gotham and what they do with Bruce's storyline is very similar in those two movies, which I think is where, I mean, both of them were, spoiler for this podcast, but 5 out of 5 for me. These are my favorite Batman stories because they take the stuff that we already know. They have the hallmarks of Batman, but they do something a little different, a little fresh with it. And they do it in an interesting, character-driven way.
That's one thing I like about when some of these when we're telling the Batman story, like you said, Casey. we know how everything starts. We know about the Wayne's death. We know all about that. And like this, and like you said, Sam, in regards to like the Batman, we're not shown the whole crime alley again. We're not shown all this again, whatever. We're just basically
Mhm.
shown we're not shown what happened. We're showing the effects of what happened. How is this
Yeah.
affecting him going forward and whatnot? Being able to go to that grave, have those conversations, because he's, that's the only thing he really knows. Be like, how I need to get this off. I need to talk to my parents. But it's not like they're just going back and going, well, we're going to show the Waynes get killed again. No, we're going to show how this is ultimately affecting him as an adult now that he hasn't had his parents for 20 years.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
again, we talk about the Batman tropes of parents dying. That's obviously the biggest one. But then also, I think by this time, especially now, however many years, almost 30 years removed from this movie, having the Joker in a Batman story has kind of become a trope of itself, of having the Joker in the movie. Period. But this movie does a great job of introducing the Joker as this
Secondary
epitome
character
of pure anarchy in this movie, of
Mhm.
trying to draw in both Batman and the Phantasm, and kind of being this middleman between the two, of which side are you going to choose. And I think Batman has such a great line at the end of this. I love Joker has a freaking jetpack in this movie, and that's just awesome.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for mentioning that.
Why don't we have
Yes.
more Joker? Like, why have we never gotten a live action Joker with a jetpack? Jared Leto looking at you.
Fly it straight into the sun, Leto.
Live-action Joker has a jetpack. It's the Jared Leto one.
It is easily him. But I love how Batman, goes after him, and the Joker's like, "You're gonna kill us. You're gonna kill us both." And Batman says, "Whatever it takes." And it's like, oh my God, like, he's not gonna kill the Joker, but he's willing to literally go to any stretch that he needs to stop him. Then you have the Phantasm, which, I guess, spoilers for the Phantasm character. It's probably not the outcome that Joker gets with that character.
Do you guys know the story of how Phantasm got spoiled before theaters?
No.
So Mask of the Phantasm was going to be this very small theatrical release, and the toys for Batman the Animated Series were doing really well. So they decided to do a special line for Mask of the Phantasm, but they totally put a Phantasm costume with an Andrea Beaumont in the toys and released it before the movie ever got released.
Oh my God.
So everyone knew what was going to happen once it hit the theaters. I think had that not happened, this might have been a little bit more successful as well. But that's a really funny story with the lineup for these toys, is that the toys were actually what spoiled the entire movie.
It's amazing how sometimes that stuff happens.
Yeah, it reminds me of when Civil War came out and they did the Giant Man pop. And I got Giant Man, the Funko, the Giant Man Funko before Civil War even came out, and I was like, yeah, okay, so
I saw the
Scott
Lego
Lang's
set with
gonna go
Giant Man,
big.
and I'm like, yeah, Giant Man's in this movie. I guess
it was
cool.
the Lego set.
Thanks,
the
Lego.
set.
Yeah. I do want to talk, just because I don't think there's ever going to be a moment in Backlot where you can talk about the fact that Jared Leto, that you guys put that on my brain, that Mark Hamill is the best Joker of all of them, in my opinion. The cadence that he speaks, I've watched so much Batman the Animated Series, guys, so you're gonna have to bear with me, but how he kind of talks like this, and then he gets really high, and then he stops, and then he goes really low like this and slows down, just that genius of cadence that he had, and the choices that he's always had with the laugh and everything like that. Mark Hamill is the best Joker, in my opinion, bar none. And I loved Joaquin Phoenix. I really loved Heath Ledger, but Joker in the Batman animated series does everything that Joker, to me, should do, and that's make you laugh at the most inappropriate times, and then also just make you cringe at every other moment. So,
Mhm.
I mean, he
Oh, yeah.
smacks the Phantasm with a deli meat in this movie. I mean,
We-
what's not to love about
Yeah.
that?
Why don't we
He's-
get that in live action?
He's genuinely terrifying in
He
the
is.
scene where he's with the congressman and the switch just flips with him for a second. Like, I mean, and part of that is the animation, but a large part of it is just how Mark Hamill delivers that. And
Mhm.
I just think, yeah, this is the best version of the Joker we're ever going to have, because this is so iconic. It's more iconic than Nicholson. I'm sorry, it just is. It
Yeah.
fits more with like the art style of the comics. It's just one of those. It's impossible to separate the animated series Joker from the overall lexicon of the character. Like, when I
Yeah.
think Joker,
Yeah.
that's the first one I think of.
Mhm.
And there have
And
been
I
some
love-
great live action performances, just none of them have erased that.
Right. I think the scene that like sold it for me was that when I forget when the old man with the breathing apparatus comes in and he grabs Joker and he just does that, "Don't touch me, old man. I don't know where you've been." And like
Yeah.
you're genuinely scared for the old
Mhm.
man for a moment, and then he cracks a joke. Like that little line right there, I sells everything you could want for the Mark Hamill Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still to this day wouldn't mind if they somehow created a way to give us a live action Mark Hamill Joker.
Same. They did it with Kevin Conroy.
Yeah. If it to easily be able to give us a live action version of him, because I mean, especially if you give us old, like on the verge of retirement, like Joker, like he's at that prime age where he could still pull that off, I think.
Let's just let Tim Burton do Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, and instead of Jack Nicholson coming back, we have Mark Hamill and Michael Keaton.
I don't mind that idea at all.
I mean, let's be honest. Matt Reeves as the Batman was kind of like Seven Zodiac, right? Maybe the next one's just going to be like Silence of the Lambs, and Mark Hamill's Joker is just going to be like Batman. Pattinson's going to be the Jodie Foster character.
I hope all the other inmates in Arkham say those same lines, Sam. I will not repeat them on this show, though.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, I could gush all day and night about Mark Hamill and everything he did for the entire Batman franchise, but I think at the end of the day, this whole movie, just head to toe, you know, you've got a very fluent story. They've also added in the elements of like the mafia and with like all the I'm blanking. Sorry, I've got dad brain. With all of like the paid crime and everything like that going on, and you don't get a lot of that in the animated series, and I think that was a nice little push for the like big Batman fans. I really do. I think that was the animated series was its purpose was for the Saturday morning for the kids. Throw in the villains that they know, and then add in the other ones, you know, because not all kids are going to know like Mad Hatter. They're not going to know, you know, some of the more obscure of the Batman villains, but they're going to know Joker. They're at the time with Batman Forever, a lot of them knew who Riddler was. So I think Mask of Phantasm serves its purpose for the more hardcore faithful Batman fans who wanted some more of the criminal aspect of it, of diving into Gotham and then adding in the elements of Mark Hamill's Joker.
Yeah. I think this is a great kind of, if you watch the animated series, this is kind of the nice next step to take in terms of like, all right, well, what's the next Batman medium I'm going to watch? You can watch the Schumacher ones to kind of get you, or 66 to kind of get you into live action. But I think this is a nice step beyond those, even to introduce a little bit darker storylines for Batman. And I mean, just for the subject matter of this movie, how it ends too is it's not a happy ending for anyone involved. It's a pretty damn downer ending of this movie. Even There's just a great, again, line delivery in this movie of when Andrea Beaumont is on the boat, and this random guy comes up and asks if she is alone, and all she responds is, "I am." I'm like, oh my god, why is this in a kids movie? Like this is more chemistry, more character growth than most other versions of Batman. I would definitely say she's the best love interest Batman's ever had.
I agree with that 100%.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just because by night she dresses up in a cloak and kills criminals with a weird bladey hook thing. Like, oh my god. The Phantasm is terrifying in this movie, and that was what hooked me as a kid. Like, now I can appreciate the deeper themes, all the, like, the thematic elements, the Batman story of it all. But when I was a kid, like, all I needed was, I mean, that image behind Brian right now. Like, the Phantasm scared me. It was like this movie, there are certain scenes, especially like the graveyard scene, that plays out like a horror movie. And obviously, being me, like, I cut my teeth on that kind of stuff. And I love when Batman goes a little spookier, because I think Batman is just naturally a spooky kind of property, you know?
She kills someone with a gravestone, Sam. She kills someone with a gravestone. That is metal.
Yeah, it is. I love that scene.
I do too. Well, and like Andrea, when you're meeting her,
you're just like,
yeah, I know, and I love like the fog. Oh god, I love all of it. But Andrea as a character too. But I mean, obviously we get all the broken elements and everything like that later. Such a charming love interest as well.
Oh yeah.
Like when she's talking to her mom in the graveyard, and then she's the only person in the world who will kind of brush off Bruce Wayne at that time too, and that I think that's what's appealing for Bruce in that scene, is that she's just kind of like, oh, you're Bruce Wayne, yeah, cool. And he wasn't used to that, to somebody treating him like a normal human being. So
right.
God, love it. Love this movie.
Yeah, this is a damn incredible movie. The best version of the Joker. Probably the best version of the Batman. For many people, I think they would say this is their Batman. Kevin Conroy is definitely up there. I mean, between this, the animated series, all the other animated movies, the Arkham games, where he and Mark Hamill get to reprise their roles there too. Like they are kind of the epitome of what you think of when you think of Batman and the Joker, and this is such a great way to encapsulate that and create a brand new villain, which is always nice to have, and one that fans just embraced right away. And I think that's again what made the animated series so great, is they embraced all these new characters. One that has now made them probably billions of dollars with Harley Quinn,
right?
Starting in the animated series as well. So I wouldn't mind them returning to this in some way, shape, or form. The Phantasm as a character, who knows? Just don't give us a really lame sequel where it's someone else under the costume or something like that. You know what I mean?
So they did do a sequel in the comic books that I've never read, and I'm very. I probably do a yearly watch of Mask of Phantasm, to be honest, but I still haven't read that sequel just because I want it to stand alone. I think that's when you have a good standalone story, I don't want it to continue. Like, I can't imagine them putting a sequel out to like Long Halloween or some of the other stuff that they've done. Long Halloween, in my opinion, probably the best story within the comic books, but I can't imagine a sequel to that. Like, I want it to kind of stand alone, and that tragic ending to both of these, like Long Halloween and Mask of the Phantasm, is a good way to end it, so that Batman has to continue.
Oh, absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys have any other thoughts you want to bring up? Should we get to final thoughts here and then our double feature question? Final thoughts? Okay, let's do it. Final thoughts. This movie's a 5-star banger. This is an all-time classic Batman movie, whether it's live action, animated, straight to video, straight to HBO Max Batman movie. This is one of, if not the best of those, and a great encapsulation of that entire run of the Batman animated series. Like we said throughout this, it's spooky, it's atmospheric, it has characters, it has depth, it has incredible music, has incredible voice acting, incredible animation. It kind of has really everything you would want out of this movie. And also, I'm not going to spoil our Patreon episode for next week, Under the Red Hood. I'm glad that this movie doesn't cop out and just do that movie's ending for this, like other Batman properties have. So that's my jab at Arkham Knight. That game is boring.
Brian.
I'll piggyback. Oh
no! Shut up, Sam.
I enjoy the movie, but I think at the same time too, I don't think I have the same nostalgia as you guys do. Literally kind of growing up with it, with the animated series. I watched some of it, but the animated series wasn't for my demographic at the time. I think it's a very solid story and whatnot, but I would encourage anybody, if anybody is a fan of any of the Batmans and whatnot, this is something to watch, whether it be the animated series or this movie, just because you're absolutely correct. I mean, Mark Hamill is one of the best Jokers. You can't argue just because he's an animated version that he doesn't go in line with anybody else that has portrayed the character, which I didn't even realize until after I was looking that I'm taking care of Mark Hamill more than one today, I guess.
Nice.
So
no poopy faces in this movie for Mark Hamill.
Nope. No sad faces here. So yeah. Overall, I mean, good fun watch.
Yeah.
Sam, you can go ahead now.
I'm definitely more in line with Casey. 5 out of 5 for me. This movie, I'm kind of like you, Eccles. I feel like I watch this at least once a year, if not more.
Yeah.
It's one of those that I found at a very young age, and it has just remained one of my favorites ever since. Just the idea, the look of this movie, I know is in line with the animated series, but I don't think you can understate with an IP like Batman that has so many different iterations and so many different takes on the character and the world. To me, like, the animated series is still what the public thinks of when they think Batman. Like, it's the animated series, it's this movie, like, this is the classic Batman, this is the classic Joker, this is the classic Gotham City.
Mm-hmm.
And for something like that for something to stand out that much in a sea of, let's be honest, pretty damn good movies all the way around. I don't think there's a Batman movie that I actively dislike. So yeah, I love this movie. I think it's the end all be all Batman movie. And if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'm right along with you there, Sam, and I'm happy that there was somebody else that feels the same way. This is my favorite Batman story. I think not just in the comic books, but like this will probably always be in my top 3 of Batman stories throughout the realm of all of them. I love the tragedy element of it. I'm such a huge Kevin Conroy fan too. My wife actually, for I think it was my last birthday, got me a cameo from Kevin Conroy, and I watched it like 900 times. Like, it was like one of the coolest things ever. And you know what? The funniest part is that, like, I've gone to conventions and met the guy several times, and like I've just diarrhea of the mouth, my love for him. Just, oh my God, you're Batman, and so I love Kevin Conroy. But from beginning to end, this whole story is such a well thought out story, and they didn't try to just throw in elements from Batman just to throw them in. Everything felt very necessary within the story.
Mm-hmm.
And so, where there are other Batman films where it's just like, we're going to throw this in for no reason, and it's because it has, we need to put something in for a larger audience. This was really meant for the smaller animated series audience. For this is my 5 out of 5 for Batman movies. This will probably be one of, if not my favorite Batman movie of all time for the rest of time.
Yeah.
All right. Last question then, and I have no idea what I'm going to pick. I've been trying to wrap my head around this all weekend. But if you are going to rewatch Batman Mask of the Phantasm with another movie, what is going to be your ultimate Mask of the Phantasm double feature? Trick question being, you cannot pick another Batman movie.
I have been really struggling with this question a lot. I want to do some like obvious things because like my second favorite of like all the animated series stuff is that Superman has a story called World's Finest where they throw in the Joker again, and I've done that double feature before, and I really love that double feature. But if we're gonna, if it can't be another Batman movie. God, I don't know if I have a solid answer for you guys aside from some of the other Batman animated stuff some of the other DC animated stuff.
World's Finest counts. It's a Batman Superman story, not just a Batman movie.
Yeah. I think that might be my answer is that World's Finest, double feature that they have because they've sold that as a movie. So I'm gonna say that's a movie.
Yeah. I think if Batman was in the question, mine would undoubtedly be Sub-Zero because I used to literally, like my cousin and I used to go to Mr. Movies on the weekend and we rent Mask of the Phantasm and Sub-Zero, and we just
as long as it's
not the
Mystery of the Batwoman.
No, that one's not very good.
I don't remember that one.
There's not much to remember of that one.
Yeah, even as a kid, I remember like that one just kind of boring me a little bit. But I suppose if I'm gonna go with something like that, I'm just gonna double down on the childhood nostalgia, and I'm just gonna pick another movie that that would work too. Another movie that I just really loved from that era that I watched over and over, and that is The Lion King.
Oh, yeah.
It's a weird double feature, but those are two of my earliest, like, oh, I love this movie memories where I just wore out the VHS tapes, so. Yeah.
My mind went the same route of if I'm back in, the days where I rented this from the library, what's the other movie I'm going to watch right after it when I'm that, 7 years old? The one that came to mind is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. I'm going to watch Batman Mask of the Phantasm and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right after, just because they feel like kind of part of the same family, the same vibe that the 90s had. That one's a little bit more fun.
Stole
and
my
vibrant.
shit, Casey.
Hey, you got Secret of the Ooze yet?
Hey, yeah.
Hey, that tape I picked up for you, Sam.
Too. Yeah, that's true.
That's a good clamshell right there. Good work.
Did you pick me up Secret of the Ooze too, or did I find that one?
I don't even think I have Secret of the Ooze.
Okay.
Brian, Secret of the Ooze.
Sure, we'll go with that.
That was my other one. I was thinking of that one too.
I love Secret
and the main
of the
reason
Ooze
why,
so much.
and the reason why I thought of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is because the reason why they were successful with trying to get that movie made is because the cartoon was being so successful at the time. But they're taking a successful cartoon, made it live action, but made it darker than what you expected out of when you got the cartoon kind of thing. And this, with the Mask of Phantasm, be a little bit darker than the show that it was relatively based off of.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think those are all good double features to pair with this. I mean, we get Big Sexy Kevin Nash in one of them. We get the Turtles and Shredder. We get Superman,
Timon
Joker's story, and Timon and Pumbaa. All this movie needed Mask of the Phantasm is Batman hanging out with a bunch of slobs eating gross food. That's what he needed.
Well, what do you want me to do, Alfred? Dress in drag and do the hula?
It maybe would have put a smile on his face.
Conroy's Batman in a coconut bra and a palm cross skirt.
I'm vengeance.
Oh, goodness.
All
Oh, my-
right. Well, boys, let's I guess wrap this thing up here. A little bit shorter episode, but this movie
Yeah, sorry guys,
was-
I had have a baby that's sleeping and a wife not feeling well. But
You're all right. And this
And-
is a short movie. I mean, we dissected everything we
Yeah.
could out of Phantasm, and I'm trying to just hurry up because I know Charlie's got a wife to tend and a daughter to tend to, so we got to wrap this thing up here.
And a best friend to find.
Yeah, you have about like 3 minutes of plugs to find one here, Charlie. I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna do, bud.
I don't know either.
I don't know. We'll see.
And now, it's time for
Oh, what's that? What?
Wh-
Who's on
what
the
just
pod with
happened?
us?
Yeah, what's going on here?
What?
You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here.
What? What? What?
I heard that my buddy Charlie Eccles needed a friend. And who better to be that friend
Then your
than
enemy.
the one, the only fat dude? I am here to play. But I'm not here alone.
What?
I come bringing.
Did you
because
bring a
this is-
baby too?
This. I left my daughter behind, I guess. I've come bearing the secret weapon. Someone who is obsessed with the Marvel Cinematic Universe in ways that you, Brian,
No, Brian, this
wouldn't
isn't Fast and Furious.
even
All right, you're out of your element.
understand. Allow me to drop our pipe bomb. Jess Johansson.
What up?
Oh,
You can see I'm obsessed. It's in my apartment. It's happening.
What's this? What?
This is ridiculous.
Just because you borrow
Who
a
let
couple
these guys
pots
onto our
doesn't
show?
mean it
Who
means
was
you're
clicking
obsessed.
these people onto this chat? Why is this
A
happening?
Marvel encyclopedia, a Captain Shield, some Daredevil Funko Pops.
Ben Affleck's
Charlie.
movie doesn't count on this show.
Oh.
Charlie has
Oh.
just been gifted the dream team.
Yeah, that's right. I don't even gifted threw me off. Anyway, so that's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's your boy, Wrestling Voice One, trying not to talk too loud because his daughter's sleeping right now, but I'm probably talking too loud anyway. Here to introduce Team Best Friend for the MCU Tag Team Turmoil Countdown. Introducing first, you remember her from the Pixar Countdown from Backlot 605. You remember her from the Oscar nomination review from Fat Dude Digs Flicks, Miss Jess Johansson. That's right.
Hi.
That's right. And
All the applause.
that's right. That's right. And And you thought we were good enemies? Now we're better friends. Mr. Andy Heller himself, the fat dude from Fat Dude Digs Flicks. That's right. I came with the big guns, Casey. Now you can shut your mouth all over Facebook and you're smack talking, and I'm losing steam on my bad boy element. And
I'm
Keep
Some of
going.
the
Doing
daughters
great.
made you soft, Eccles.
Charlie,
Eccles
I'm
made
just
you
gonna say this.
soft.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud you have found not only one best friend, but two best friends. I'm excited for this show coming up on May 14th, our MCU Tag Team Countdown.
I woke up my kid.
That's on you, dude, not us. But I'm glad you found a
Damn it,
partner. That
Sam.
means we get to humiliate you on May 14th
Oh,
in front of your new best friends.
in front of-
So the Backlot boys, they're coming at you, best friends. They're coming at you,
I'm just
Wednesday
wondering,
Comics. They're coming at
Best-
you, a comic book look. What do you want, Sam?
Do any of you guys own one of these? A real Tesseract case with every Phase 1 movie?
Yeah, we
On
have
Blu-ray?
our own agent Phil Coulson, boys.
No, Sam, we bought them all individually like real poor adults do. That's how we function.
Secondhand,
Chose to not eat
motherfucker.
lunch for a week.
I
and
got
bought
First
this.
Avenger on 3D.
That's right. That's right.
We have
It's like,
Disney Plus.
I didn't have the TV to
What's up?
play it, but I bought it that way.
That's right. That's right. I saw a cheap click together DVD of Iron Man that I rented from a Mr. Movies. That's right. You take your Tesseract case and crack your voice with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
We got Spider-Man on digital.
Someone,
We're
That's
I
right.
did
talking
too.
2008 version of this.
I had to rewind my copy of Spider-Man. Suck it.
You want to talk about rewind your copy of Spider-Man?
No, Sam,
No.
we
You
don't.
still
we
have
don't.
your rewound copy of Spider-Man? Don't
I
come at
do.
me, Eccles. Don't come at me.
Oh, somebody. I like the side of Sam.
Sequel,
Sam,
Spider-Man
Sam
2.
is-
You got that one? Huh?
Sam feels threatened.
Ooh.
If Charlie thinks he's going to be playing these
Threatened.
movies anyway, he's going to
I'm
be
more
losing.
confident than
So
I've ever been in my life.
yeah,
I'll play whatever movies I want and whatnot, Brian.
I hope this team knows that going forward, yeah, these Spider-Man
It's
movies,
okay,
these Ben
Daddy.
Affleck movies are not going to be on
Yeah,
this list
yeah.
at all.
I'm not
Uh,
really mad.
So just so you guys know what movies to watch. Coming up for May 14th, MCU Countdown. We are very, very excited to have this going down. I mean, you can already tell blood is boiling here. Tensions are getting hot. They're getting
Yeah, we
hot
got
over here.
this
Babies
team
are
of
waking
misfit
up.
toys. I'm loving this. I'm
Going
loving
down.
this.
All right, boys and boys and girls, let's wrap this thing up. Everybody, let's get everybody a plug on this show. God damn it! If you guys appeared on here, you're gonna get a plug. Not Charlie though, because I hate him. We'll start with Jess. Jess, go ahead. Where can people follow you online for all your smack talking on this MCU countdown?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Jessica Jess Hansen. Otherwise, Facebook, all the available venues of social media, unfortunately. But I will be in Into the Woods next month, April 21st through the 23rd. Please come see it. It's going to be great.
Into
Nice.
the woods.
Andy.
Yeah.
I hate you, but where can people find you?
Casey.
I love you, Andy. Don't listen to
I hate you
Casey.
too.
I love you. Thank you for coming to me in this time of need.
Listen, I saw all of you. I saw all of your Facebook friends fail to really claim you as a friend. They tried, but they weren't very
Boy, did they.
genuine. I am the real friend that you have always needed. And you can find me at Fat Dude Digs Flicks on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Just give a search for Fat Dude Digs Flicks and you'll find me there. Also, please follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, anywhere your pods can be caught. You will get Let's Talk About the Interview series and the Criterion Break, where Blake Ginnathan and Derek Varink and I will sit down and chat about our love for the Criterion Collection.
Don't do any of that. All right, Charlie, where can the people find? I'm kidding. Do all of that, please do. Charlie, where can they find you online?
I want to put a plug in that I just want Fat Dude Digs Flicks tagline to be the friend you always needed. And
the friend you always needed.
Yep. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling Voice 1. Go buy tickets for my show this weekend in Omaha, Nebraska. We are doing Magnum Madness, a tournament to crown the new #1 contender for Magnum Wrestling. And then April 10th for Flagship Pro Wrestling in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at the District. Make sure to follow all of their social media, Magnum Wrestling and Flagship Pro, and wherever I might be announcing next.
Charlie is wrestling, and essentially I am the savior of wrestling.
I love how red Andy's face got.
I wanted to say that so bad.
I love how Andy's hanging out in the defunct WCW Nitro Arena right now.
Defunct. We're gonna bring that back.
You're gonna need some Nitro on this show. You can find us on Apple.
Shut up, Russo.
Stitcher, shut up. Google, Amazon Music, and on YouTube. Brian, where can they find us on social media to get some more of these shenanigans?
Yeah, the rate we're
going.
Nope.
Don't do it.
Nope. Don't do it.
Nope.
You can check us out at Facebook,
Nope.
Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd
Nope.
HQ, all at Backlot 605. And I don't even care where Charlie even thinks he's trying to say right now.
That's okay. We have the power here. It's our show. I muted his microphone. Sam, where can they find you on Patreon?
I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I got 7-year-old twins. I know how to not listen to somebody who's really annoying. So as you continue to be on Facebook, you can check us out at the South Dakota Film Community Group, where you can join the conversations and where we're going to ban Charlie because he's that annoying. Sam, where else can they find
You ban me to something I don't go to anyway. It's fine.
If for some reason you like this and you want more, you can join us on patreon.com/backlot605, where we give you 4 episodes a month, low cost of $5. It's Batman month. Even over on Patreon, we've done episodes on the new Batman, Battinson. We did
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did. We're going to do Batman and Robin, and then we're ending the month with one I haven't seen, Batman Under the Red Hood, which I'm very excited to check out finally.
It rules.
So yeah, definitely check those.
Don't screw it up.
Episodes out. I'm very excited. Yeah.
Yes, 4 bonus episodes every month on Patreon. That's 2 more friends than Charlie has, so definitely worth your money in that. All right, again,
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
MCU Countdown, May 14th, coming up. Event page will be out very soon for this event following this podcast. But thanks to Sam, Brian, and myself, and no one else who appeared on this show today. Because
you're not welcome.
You guys are not welcome. No, you guys are not welcome back until then. Sorry. That's what you get for aligning.
Oh, darn.
I'm uncomfortable
with how mean this is getting.
I know. What did I walk into?
I know.
Sam doesn't like heel promos.
Some of us are nice people. Like Sam and I are actually nice people. I don't know what the hell just happened.
Sam, this is called wrestling. We're the bad guys. They're the baby faces. It's simple 101. We don't actually hate each other. It's okay.
Okay.
Oh, I told all my friends it's a work.
Strongly dislike you guys, and we will get your bottoms.
Yeah.
At the MCU countdown.
Get mad.
You tell them, Sam.
Bottom dollars.
Why don't you rewind your copy of Spider-Man and cry, Sam?
on that note, we're going to wrap this thing up. We'll let Charlie have the final word here. Thank you all for watching, listening. Go check out all of these fun schmucks out on the internet and listen to our smack talk over the next month. You're going to get a lot of it. Sorry. Thank you all again for watching, listening to the show. We'll check y'all out next time right here on the Backlot of South Dakota.
Bye.
Good luck, best friends.